you get more money. Okay, you get more money, but you still have the same expectations. So I don't remember a particular book because it wasn't as multicultural
Mm-hmm.
cultural as it is now. But I was in an English class, and we had to read, I don't know, an article or something, and it was by a black female. And I really wanted to like this reading because it was she's black, she's a woman, I'm a woman, and I'm supposed to like what she wrote. And I remember going to class and talking to the instructor, and I was like, I don't like this. I mean, and I told him I didn't finish it, and I told him that I didn't like it, and that was upsetting to me because she was a black female and I was supposed to like it. But that was a growing point for me. It was like I was mature enough to know that I didn't like it, and I didn't have to like it because she was a black female. So that was like one of the moments I was like, okay, I don't have to like it, and that's okay. So, but I can't remember who it was. All I remember, I just didn't like it.
Okay. Did any of your parents speak any foreign languages at all, other than English?
No, other than country talking, no.
Oh, okay. Has anyone in your family ever fought in a war or been in military service?
Not any of the immediate family. I definitely have cousins, but none growing up that I know of.
Okay. All right. What can you recall about the forced integration in the South? Do you know anything about that?
I was, I was born at the time where a year before I have friends that's only a year or 2 years older than I am that remember going to the segregated schools. I started school, it was desegregated, so I don't have any memory of that. I remember getting on the bus with white kids and black kids, and
So you were among the first generations to actually be going to school together with
right,
whites.
and having no memory of anything else but that. But then, like I said, I have friends.
Was it widely accepted as it is now? Because
I mean, to me, growing up, it wasn't no big thing. That was just what it was. I mean, growing up in Ruffin, most of the people were the same people that had been living there generations. So, and there were white people and black people, and that was fine. You saw them, but I mean, you didn't like. White people didn't come to your house. Black people didn't go to white people's house. You didn't have that, but they were all in the same neighborhood. But I mean,
so when you lived, there already were in integrated neighborhoods, black and whites living together.
yeah, but remember, living in the country in an integrated neighborhood is different from living in a city. Your neighbor
Right.
could be a half a mile down the road from you.
Yeah.
I mean, so, and they're white, but they're your neighbor. Or, you're going to walk some distance. So when I say, and I think it's different when you have black and white, like right beside you, no. So neighborhood, yes, in our neighborhood, in Ruffin, black and white, but that could be miles apart from each other. So, but that's how I grew up.
Okay. What do you remember about first getting a television?
Um, I don't remember getting the first one. I just remember growing up, we had one. You always had one. I remember almost every family member, you just had one TV, one.
So it wasn't like one for each family member.
No, like you go to your cousin's house, everybody had one TV, one. That's it, one big TV in the living room, and that was it.
So were there services like Dish Network and all those that
No.
offer long programs, or was it just like
No, you had four channels.
that was it?
Two, 7, 8, and 12. I'm sorry. Yeah, 4 channels, and then channel 4. 2, 7, 8, 12, and channel 4. 4 was the PBS channel. And then you had antennas on your TV because sometimes you could get that other funky channel if your antenna was right. But that was it.
Oh, okay.
Just those channels. And then TV went, and it didn't play 24/7.
It didn't play 24/7?
TV
Wow.
would, depending on the channel, TV would cut off at 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock. unless it was a late movie, maybe 2 o'clock, but it was not. And then it would start again like maybe 5 or 6 in the morning, but it was not 24/7 TV.
Wow.
People actually went to sleep at night instead of like your generation that stays up all night.
Yeah, because you can turn up the TV anytime and
There's something on,
You got
but then,
TV.
but then you didn't. It went off, you know. Usually after the late news or Johnny Carson, but right about 1 o'clock, it was usually gone.
What do you think of 24-hour television now? Do you think it's a good thing?
No.
Or was it a bad thing?
It is.
It is a bad thing?
Because people don't have self-control and they'll sit there and watch crap just because they don't have anything else to do. And, you know, and you can tell that because most of my students say they don't want to read, they don't know this, and they're very limited to have access to so much information, but they're very limited in what they do. Because I asked, have you seen this movie? What was the mention in class? Full Metal Jacket.
Mm-hmm.
Asked students had they seen Full Metal Jacket. So out of a class of 25, I think 3 students had said that they had seen that movie. League of Our Own, because obviously we're talking about World War II with League of Our Own, but their scope of what they know and are exposed to, even though they got more, is very limited on what information that they have, which is sad, because you don't learn about anything else except for what's in your line of sight, and that's very limiting.
Okay. Did your mother or your father mention anything about how they got to know each other? You know, how they found love, basically?
From what I understand, they met from her sister was dating somebody and they met that way. So.
Did he send Twitter, Facebook? Nah.
Oh, ha, 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 ha. No, my mom just turned 68 last week, so I don't think so.
So how was it like, the communication? Was it traditional paper? Pencil?
No, I mean, she lived in Reedsville. He was from Ruffin, around Ruffin. You know, you go, they saw each other, they dated. She was in high school. He was about 5 years older than she was. Neither one of them finished high school. She ends up getting pregnant and they get married. And then I come 9 months later, or 8 months later, or 7 months later, however you want to add it up. Like August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April. 8 months later, because they got married in August. And I was born in March of '64.
What do you think of like? So do you say that today? You say that today, relationships are much stronger, communication wise?
No.
Because we have all this technology that we can
No.
instantly communicate.
They don't communicate.
Just send a quick text.
No, you don't communicate. You just, your generation just put things out there. You don't have time. I think we talked about it yesterday. You don't have time to process, digest it, and think about it. The information, you don't, there's not, your generation, they don't have deep thoughts. They are looking for a quick fix. If something's not right, then how can I make myself happy? Your generation don't want to be unhappy. If somebody's making them sad, then okay, let me go on the Facebook or let me do something. Not just taking the time to say, you know what, I'm really upset about this. Let me just take a moment and be upset about it. They have to go pacify themselves with something else.
So you would say that our generation now hides in technology, whereas your generation actually, you know, communicated
talk,
straight
and
to
think.
face.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, totally agree.
Okay.